David Zeritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back to another Amusings in an Aston. Although this may not be too amusing. I'm not amused. I wanted to talk today about health and fitness, Bond Fitness Challenge, getting to the best shape of your life. You know, the journey we're on. And here I am, sitting on my butt, heading to work. Not the most physically active moment. I could have done this in my gym. I could have done this walking. There's so many different venues. But I figured I'd had a little bit of time to maybe commiserate with you, but certainly to talk about some of my frustrations. And these are like little confessional moments. That's why it's less of an amusing and more about, just a kvetch. Look it up. So I weigh myself every morning. This is a part of my routine. And I don't weigh myself so much as to say, oh goody, I lost weight, because losing weight or gaining weight is not always a really great measure of your health. Certainly not a great measurement of your physical situation, because muscle it weighs more than fat, all right? So sometimes if you gain muscle, then, why should you feel bad if your weight goes up? But let's hit the reality. I'm 57 plus years old. When I gain weight, it's fat. It's not muscle. For me to gain muscle, I would have to take a ridiculous amount of protein, creatine, amino chains. There'd have to be a lot of things going on for me to significantly, pounds of muscle would take a major dedication. And maybe one day when I grow up and I say to myself, I want to be an Instagram model. That could happen. Can't happen. Then I will gain that type of muscle, and the weight going up will make me feel good. When weight gain is seen, like I saw over the last couple of days, it doesn't make me feel good. Now, mind you, if I was eating sleeves of Oreo cookies and all those types of situations, or, Kentucky Fried Chicken and things like that, not getting a lot of activity, and I was gaining weight, I'd be like, well, David, you know what you need to do. I mean, weight gain very often should be a mathematical equation. If you take in less than if you burn more than what you take in, you will lose weight. If you do it equal, you'll maintain weight. You know how it goes. It's a mathematical equation. I don't need to reteach it to you. But I have been pretty fastidious with my food intake, not just quantity, but the type. I mean, I've been eating salmon salads, no dressing. So just leafy vegetables with salmon. I've been skipping breads, skipping desserts. Last couple days, I haven't had any sugar. And this week, it's Wednesday right now, I've cut out alcohol. But I had some weight gain. And I had weight gain for the last 3 days. I made some radical changes in my intake, not even my diet, my intake, and now I saw a little bit of reduction this morning. So if I'm seeing reduction, why am I spending my time in this video talking about this? Well, I want to talk about that no matter what book you buy, and we've talked about a lot of books and a lot of gurus and a lot of different routines. No matter what routine you do or exercise or the food diet, there are going to be times when your body and time and reality just catch up to you. And what I needed to do this morning, as I sat having my cup of coffee, thinking about this strange weight gain that I've had, even though my activity is the same, my food intake is pretty good, is as you get older, it's going to get harder. Now, I've had so many people tell me this, and I'm like, pshaw. If I want to lose 7 pounds, I go on a salt water diet for 3 days and I lose 7 pounds. Pshaw. With your, it gets harder. But it does. And this is my reality that I'm dealing with today. I know it for a fact that this has become a moment in my life where getting in shape or staying in shape is going to get more difficult as time goes on. This is it. I knew there was going to be a tipping point. So I could do a couple things. I could say, well, that's it. It's all going to go downhill and it's going to get harder and harder and oh, woe is me. Or I could be up for the challenge. And guess which way I went? Because, I mean, what would Bond do? Would Bond just give it up and let the missiles explode and hit him and just sacrifice? Oh, he did. He did that in No Time to Die. But that's a fluke. The other 24 movies, he didn't do that. So what would Bond do? Bond would not give up. Bond would say, new challenge, new day, new routine. So I've planned. And this video is the start of a new day of my Bond Fitness Challenge, new aged appropriately, Silver Centrum vitamin related, I don't take vitamins, routine. So there's a couple things that I'm going to be doing. Number one, let's talk about fitness. So from a fitness standpoint, I'm going to be adding more movement and activity. Now, typically speaking, I think some of you know this, but I'll just, for reminder's sake, every other day I do pretty significant weightlifting, which is great. I'm going to add 2 new exercises to that. Weight-bearing exercises. Every other day I do regular movement activity. That could be very long health walks. It could be just movement around the house. It could be the Bosu ball, balancing on the Bosu ball, which is fantastic. And I'm going to be adding to that. So I'm going to be doing movement exercises every single day now, 7 days a week. Now, typically I get movement, but that whole 10,000 steps thing, I wouldn't say every day is like that. I'm not just going to target 10,000. I'm going to actually do particular things. I'm going to be doing balance exercises, but I'm going to get back to something that I haven't done in a long time, and I need to do it. And that is isometrics. Please look it up on YouTube. I've done isometrics in my videos, but you can look it up. I was going to say Tony Hortons. Tony Hawk, no. Tony has done it, isometrics. You can take a look at it. But it is basically using Mother Earth, gravity, and balance to get into the best shape of your life. And it helps with stamina, balance, and of course, physical activity. You are dying by the end of it. And it's all balance. You could do it anywhere. You could do it in a hotel room. You could honestly do it in your office, at a desk, behind a Dunkin' Donuts. What were you doing at a Dunkin' Donuts? What are you doing here? You could do it anywhere. So I'm going to add isometrics regularly. You could even do it, and this is probably where I'm going to be doing it, you could do it watching TV. Yeah, you can, so there's no excuse. And I want to create movement opportunities so there's no excuse. So there's no excuse, and that means incorporating them, maybe not as a dedicated moment, but in your everyday life. So if I'm watching TV or talking to Danielle or, in between meetings, or, believe it or not, when I'm talking to somebody. Not right now, I'm driving. That accident will happen. But when I'm on the phone, I take a lot of phone calls for work. I can do the isometrics, I can do the balance. From the weightlifting aspect, I am going to be doing some things where I'm going to be adding some carries. Now, I do this thing called, for want of a better term, a farmer's walk. You take these very, very heavy dumbbells. It's almost as heavy as you can lift. And you walk around for 60 seconds, put them down, repeat. You got to keep your back straight so you don't hurt your back, your shoulders, but man, does it create definition. Man, is it good for your body, legs, butt, everything. So I'm going to do a slight version of that where there's some movement going on as well. So some new things added to the fitness regime. When it comes to diet, when it comes to food, I'm going to cut out sugars. Now, not fruit sugars. Let me just specify that. But processed sugars, desserts. I typically, when I go out to lunch for a fancy business lunch, I will get dessert. I'm going to be very fastidious with this. But the other thing is, I think I'm going to do without alcohol during the week. Maybe a little bit of imbibing here and there, but I'm going to watch myself. Now, here's the danger in doing exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to be watching this every day with my weight. fitness, how I look and how I feel. This is really important. I really want to maintain an analysis, an evaluation of how I feel and how I look, how I feel in my clothing, but also how I look. I can tell how I look with how I'm doing. And on top of that, and this is a fun thing. I told you to do this. I told you to do this. I've got events coming up. In August, I've got a Bond and Beyond event focusing on 3 different events in 1 weekend in August. I want to be in really great shape for that. That is my drive. You got to really remember what drives you. What motivates you to get these things done. The other thing is, in September, mid-September, 10th through the 14th, give or take, I'm going to be doing Gatherall at Goldeneye in Jamaica. So, I want to make sure that I'm using that, because guess what? My shirt will be off a minimum of 50 to 60% of the time. I'd rather not look like the worst version of myself. Call me crazy. I really feel like I can get into the best shape of my life if I focus for the next month and a half. That's how long I have, is a month and a half. So I've got to set timing, expectations, and events and experience. What's the experience that's leading up to that? And by the way, the food experience as well as the fitness experience, I believe in sharing. This is something I haven't been doing enough of. Josh Brown, Kyle from Easy Smile and Beautiful Watches. I got that right. I'm going to be doing more and more communication with them, because the more I communicate with friends on what is their challenge, I won't get frustrated, because I know other people are on the same journey as me, and I appreciate that. Who doesn't like to be able to hold a hand on the journey that we're all on? So I'm looking at my fellow brethren to go on this journey with me and be supported, but also to look at these events and use them as destinations of knowing that I need to get in the best shape of my life for a particular reason. And then the final thing that I've been thinking about as far as changes as I've gotten older, not just food, diet, events, and fitness, but this is a big one. This is kind of where I wanted to take this conversation. The very nature of what I did this morning when I weighed myself is I could have done a lot of things. I could have practiced some self-hate. Never a good idea. I could have practiced some self-worth issues. I could have gone into the whole fray of just beating myself up. And people do that, right? When they gain weight or they hit a bit of frustration with their fitness, their looks, they have a choice. They could beat themselves up. What I decided to do this morning was 2 things. Number one, I'd research, what's causing this? Sure enough, it's time and age, and things slow down your battery and you have to readjust. So number one, I readjusted based on age and practice and activity. The second thing that I did, you're experiencing right this second. I had a lot of conversations I could do with this Amusings in an Aston today. I chose this one. I chose some of the frustration around the Bond Fitness Challenge and health and wellness and getting the best shape of our lives and what would Bond do. And because of that, just talking about it out loud is therapy. This is an important factor. I would suggest that anytime you're feeling this type of frustration like I did this morning, speak to somebody. I'm doing this as a bit of an amplifier of my channel, but I know it's going to reach people. At least probably 1,000 people will listen to this message today. And hopefully they will take that message farther. But the fact of sharing that and knowing that you're not alone in this message, that you can connect with others, communicate, get some feedback in that message, I think that's an important thing. So number one, creating a reckoning and a change of a routine, vital, important. Of course it is. But the second thing is this mental reckoning that I think you should do in sharing this with others. I'm going to continue to. In fact, maybe I'll share my my lunch notice with Josh Brown and Kyle and see what they're doing. But mostly I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm going to respect myself and see where we land from here. So there you have it. Little amusings in an Aston about the Bond Fitness Challenge, getting the shape of our life, and just setting expectations and not getting disappointed. So as I careen to work, hopefully you take that message and well, carry it forward. In the meantime, this has been David Zritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you all real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching the Bond Experience. If you like what you saw, why don't you subscribe to the channel by clicking this button right here. We'll keep you up on everything new that's happening in the world of Bond. And speaking of something new, here's something new just for you because we know you so well. Talk to you soon.